Let me paint you a picture. You're 20 minutes into a run, your lungs are burning, your legs feel like wet cement, and some part of your brain is loudly voting to stop. And here's what's fascinating about that moment. The reason you're considering stopping has almost nothing to do with your muscles and almost everything to do with a tiny cluster of neurons firing in the back of your brain. That's the real story of endurance. And once you understand it, you'll never think about pushing through effort the same way again. Today we're going deep on endurance, not just the physical kind, but the neural kind, the kind that governs whether you finish the run, finish the project, finish anything that demands sustained effort over time. There are actually 4 distinct types of endurance, each built through a different mechanism, each drawing on a different fuel system. We're also going to talk about hydration in a way that will make you realize you've probably been doing it wrong, and breathing in a way that most coaches never teach. So whether you run marathons or just want to last longer at anything requiring focus and sustained effort, this one is for you. First, let's get something straight that I think is one of the most empowering ideas in all of exercise science. Why do we quit? A study published in the journal Cell, one of the most prestigious scientific publications in the world, identified a specific group of neurons in the brainstem that, when they go quiet, we stop. These neurons release epinephrine, which you might know as adrenaline. It's your readiness signal. As long as they're firing, you keep going. When they shut down, you're done. And here's the part that matters. A type of brain cell called glia monitors how much epinephrine is being spent, and at some point decides the reserves are running low and pulls the plug. So quitting is literally a neural event, not a physical one. I know some people love the phrase, it's 90% mental, but that's not quite right either, and here's why. Everything is physical. Your thoughts are chemistry and electricity. Your willpower is neurons. It's not 90% mental and 10% physical. It's 100% nervous system. And the reason that matters is because nervous systems are trainable. Which brings us to the real question. What do you need to keep those neurons firing? 2 things. Glucose, the fuel neurons run on, and electrolytes, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium, because the electrical signal that fires a neuron is generated by sodium rushing into the cell. No sodium, no signal. No signal, no contraction. This is why hydration isn't just about water. More on that in a minute. Now let's talk about the 4 types of endurance, because lumping them all together is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they try to build a training program. The first type is muscular endurance. This is your ability to perform repeated muscular contractions over time, not because you can't breathe or your heart is giving out, but because the local muscles themselves fatigue. Think push-ups, planks, kettlebell swings, wall sits. The protocol here is 3 to 5 sets of anywhere from 12 to 100 repetitions, with rest periods of 30 seconds to 3 minutes in between. One critical detail, the lowering phase of any movement, what exercise scientists call the eccentric component, should be light and controlled, not slow and grinding. Heavy eccentric loading creates significant muscle damage, which is fine for hypertrophy but counterproductive when building muscular endurance. What you're really developing here is the mitochondria inside your muscle cells, their capacity to use oxygen locally and keep generating energy without the rest of your system becoming the limiting factor. This kind of training also has a surprising carryover benefit for posture. Isometric holds like planks are one of the most underrated tools for strengthening the muscles that keep you upright, and a lot of people walking around with forward-tilted shoulders and rounded backs would benefit enormously from 3 sets of a 2-minute plank several times a week. The second type is long-duration endurance. This is your classic sustained cardio. Anything beyond 12 minutes of continuous effort. It could be a 20-minute jog, an hour-long swim, or a full day of hiking. It's one set of extended, sub-maximal effort. What makes this kind of training powerful isn't what it does during the session, but what it builds afterward. Capillary beds. Tiny microvascular networks inside your muscles that allow blood, oxygen, and fuel to reach the working tissue more efficiently. Your body literally grows new small blood vessels in response to repeated long-duration effort. Think of upgrading from a single garden hose to a full sprinkler system. You can irrigate far more ground with the same amount of water pressure. The first time you go out for a 20-minute run and feel like you're going to collapse, you're not weak. You just haven't built the infrastructure yet. Come back a week later and it's noticeably easier because your body has been quietly constructing that vascular network in the background. Now here's where it gets really interesting and where most people leave a significant amount of performance on the table. High-intensity training gets thrown around a lot, but there are actually two fundamentally different types of it, and they train completely different systems. The first is anaerobic high-intensity training. Anaerobic means without sufficient oxygen. You're working so hard that your energy demand outpaces your body's ability to deliver oxygen in real time. The protocol is 3 to 12 sets, with a work-to-rest ratio ranging from 3 to 1, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, to 1 to 5, 20 seconds on, 100 seconds off. If you're doing something technically demanding like heavy lifts or complex movements, lean toward the longer rest periods so your form stays solid. If you're on a bike or rower where form degradation is less dangerous, shorter rests are fine. What you're building here is your mitochondria's ability to use oxygen at extremely high rates, and you're training your neurons to keep accessing energy and muscular force even when your body is screaming to stop. This has enormous carryover to any activity that involves short explosive bursts, sprinting, team sports, martial arts, but also to mental work that requires short bouts of very intense focus. The second type of high-intensity training is aerobic, and it works through a brilliant 1-to-1 ratio protocol. You work for a period of time, then rest for an equal period of time. A classic version of this is mile repeats. Run a mile, rest for however long that took, run another mile, rest again. Sounds simple. The results are not. People who train this way consistently find themselves running half marathons or marathons on race day, despite never having run those distances in training, because the 1-to-1 ratio builds so many energy systems simultaneously. It strengthens the cardiac muscle, expanding what's called stroke volume, the amount of blood your heart pumps per beat. It increases capillary density in muscles and in the brain itself. It improves the ability of your mitochondria to generate energy, and it teaches your nervous system to sustain intense effort repeatedly. A practical starting point: run or row or cycle hard for 8 to 12 minutes. Rest for an equivalent amount of time, and repeat 2 or 3 times. Build from there over weeks. Let's talk about breathing, because this is wildly underutilized as a performance tool. Nasal breathing is the gold standard for low to moderate intensity work. It filters air, engages a more efficient mechanical pathway, and signals a calmer state to your nervous system. But as intensity rises, you need to incorporate your mouth. And here's the technique most people miss. Exhale during the highest effort phase of any movement. That breath out during exertion is not accidental for fighters or athletes who do it instinctively. It creates a mechanical advantage and allows for a fuller subsequent inhale. Here's something even fewer people know. Warming up your breathing muscles before training dramatically improves how well oxygen gets delivered throughout the session. Before you start a run or a tough workout, spend 2 to 3 minutes deliberately breathing in a way that both expands your belly outward and raises your chest. You've probably been told chest breathing is bad, but your intercostal muscles, the ones between your ribs, are there for a reason. Working them into the warm-up primes the entire respiratory system the same way you'd warm up any other muscle group before asking it to perform. And if you ever get a stitch in your side during a run, here's what's actually happening. The phrenic nerve, which controls your diaphragm, has branches that also run near your liver. When you're breathing shallowly during physical effort, that nerve can generate what's called referred pain in your side. The fix is a double inhale followed by a long exhale. Inhale fully, sneak in a little more air, then exhale completely. Do that 3 or 4 times, and that side stitch typically vanishes, because you've reset the firing pattern of the phrenic nerve. Now, hydration. Here's the formula you actually need. Take your body weight in pounds and divide by 30. That's the number of ounces you should drink every 15 minutes of exercise. So if you weigh 150 pounds, that's 5 ounces every 15 minutes. This is the Galpin equation, and it's a far more useful starting point than drink until your urine runs clear. Why does this matter so much? Once you lose just 1 to 4% of your body weight in water, you'll experience a 20 to 30% reduction in both physical performance and cognitive function. That's not a minor inconvenience. That's a third of your capacity gone. And you typically won't even feel significantly thirsty until you're already in that deficit. Electrolytes are non-negotiable here too, because pure water without sodium, potassium, and magnesium doesn't keep your neurons firing the way they need to. Salt isn't just a seasoning, it's the ion that makes your nerve cells work. One last idea that I find genuinely fascinating: the role of vision in endurance. Research shows that focusing your eyes on a specific target, a landmark, a point on the trail, the end of the lane, activates neural circuits that release more epinephrine and allow you to generate more effort. It's not just psychological. The act of converging your eyes on a point physically activates alertness systems in your brainstem. Elite runners and cyclists intuitively do this near the end of races. When someone passes them, suddenly that person becomes a visual target, and they find a gear they didn't know they had. You can use this deliberately during any sustained effort. Choose a target, focus in, generate the push, then let your gaze go wide to recover, then target again. It's a toggle between maximum effort and efficiency, and your visual system is the switch. The theme across all of this is that endurance isn't just about how much your heart and lungs can handle. It's about building a nervous system that knows how to keep going, one that has the fuel systems, the vascular infrastructure, the mitochondrial capacity, and the neural wiring to sustain effort when everything is telling it to stop. Here's my challenge to you this week. Pick one of the 4 endurance types you've been neglecting and try one session. Maybe it's 3 sets of push-ups until near failure with 2-minute rests. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk with your breathing deliberately engaged. Then come drop a comment below telling me which type you tried and what you noticed about your energy and your mental state afterward. Your experience might be the insight that helps someone else take the first step. And if you want more deep dives like this one, hit subscribe. We're building something here worth sticking around for. Growth is not accidental, it's intentional. If you're ready to build a better version of yourself, welcome. Stay tuned.